Hey everybody, Steve here. Today I'm here to talk to you about ASG Golf from Oakland Publishing Services. This game was designed by George Gurney in 2009. It's for 1 to 4 players, and a game's going to take you anywhere from an hour to 2 to play through a round of golf. This game allows you to take past and present players on some of the world's most famous courses for a statistically accurate simulation of golf. Now, your reaction to that last sentence is going to give you an idea on whether this game is for you or not. Each of the players in the game is rated on their ability using woods, irons, and their putting skill. And each of the courses is given a to-scale drawing that details the course conditions, the hazards, and even which direction the wind is coming from. So what do I think about this game? Is it a long drive down the middle of the fairway? Or does it get pulled off to the left into the woods? Well, everyone make sure that you have a collared shirt on. Please keep the carts on the designated paths. We'll look inside the box, I'll show you a sample of play, and then I'll tell you what I think after further review. So here's a quick overview of everything that comes with the game. First you get the How to Play booklet, that's just 4 single-sided sheets. Then you get a chart for all of the clubs. This one has the 1 wood and then the 3 wood, but then all the other clubs get their own chart that details if you're hitting from the fairway, the tee, the rough, and then the sand. There are 5 different putting charts that detail how difficult the green is that you're putting on. There's an optional wind chart, so if you want to play with wind, this tells you how it affects your shots on the fairway. And then for your approach shots, which are the short iron shots, there's different charts for those, and there's charts with a strong wind or without. There are 2 cards for optional charts if you're playing with trees on the course, and then the different kinds of trees will play differently and how hard it is to get out of them. And then finally there's an aiming chart and then a putt length determination chart, which we'll show you when we do our sample of play. And here's what a hole card will look like. This is the first hole at Augusta National. Now, when you first order the game, you'll get the option of which course you want included and which set of players. And so for my review, I'm using the Augusta National course. And you'll see it gives you the basic information about the hole up top. If you're playing a tournament, it'll actually give you 4 different pin placement settings. And then it'll tell you different things about the course, the weather, and any special rules about the wind. And then also sometimes the holes themselves will have special rules just for that hole. For instance, this one you take 10 yards off your tee shot. And you'll see that the holes, they have a grid over them, and they're each representing 5 yards, and that's how you'll determine where your ball lands after you find out how far you've hit the shot. So here's an example of 2 of the player cards. These 2 cards come from the 1970s set. However, there are other sets available, and when you make your initial purchase, you'll be able to select which set of player cards you would like. Each of the cards has the nationality of the player, represented by their flag, and then the 4 ratings up at top. The wood and the iron ratings help you determine what the average distance a player is going to get out of each of their clubs. The short putt rating is the tendency for a player to possibly miss a putt under 3 feet. And then the quick play rating, you can purchase additional course sets that are specifically designed for quick play. And so instead of each player rolling out each individual shot on the course, they'll just roll once for each hole, and that's going to tell you what the player scored on that. And then down at the bottom, this is where you'll find out what happens with each shot. You're going to roll 3 dice. The first 2 numbers are going to give you a result between 11 and 66. You'll refer to that number on the chart, and then whatever number is underneath the club that you're hitting with, that's going to give you another number, and then you'll refer to that club's chart to see what happened with the shot. We'll show you a sample of play. I'll take Jack the Bear and Lee Trevino through hole number 1 at Augusta, and we'll show you how it all comes together. So here we are at hole number 1 at Augusta National. Jack Nicklaus and Lee Trevino are in the first pairing. And there is no wind today, and the course conditions should not affect the players at all. Jack's going to tee off first, and we see that his wood rating is a 2, which tells us that his average drive is going to be 275 yards. We look at the number 2 column on the one wood chart. So looking at the course, we see at 275 there's a sand trap, so he's going to aim 5 left to try to avoid that. So we roll the 3 dice, and we read the first 2 dice as 1, 4, and then look under the W column, it gives us the number 4. So we go to the one wood chart. At number 4, it's a 265, and we subtract 10 yards because of the special course rules for this hole. So it's going to land at 255 yards, and then the blue 6 die, we look at the number 6 column, and it tells us that his shot went 0 off of where he was aiming, so it's going to land 5 yards left of the center line, and then it's going to roll 35 more yards and come to rest 285 yards from the tee and 5 yards left of the center line, right where he aimed. So not a bad shot for Jack Nicklaus. And now Trevino will step up to the tee. His wood rating is a 6, so his average is going to be 255. So Trevino's going to hit with his one wood, and he's going to aim right down the center of the fairway. The roll is a 2-2-4. The first 2 dice, the 2-2, tells us to look. We get the result of number 3 on the W column. So we go to the one wood chart and look at the number 3. So he hit the ball 270 yards, and then we take 10 off for the special rules on this hole. So it goes 260 yards. And then the blue 4 tells us that he hit it 10 yards left. So it'll land 260 yards down the course, 10 yards left of center, and then it's going to roll 35 yards, stopping at 290 yards, 10 left of center. So here we see that even though Trevino's average is lower than Jack's, this time he outdrove him by 5 yards. So Jack's second shot will be 160 yards from the pin. His iron rating is a 3. So we're looking at our clubs. He's going to select a 9 iron, and we see that at the 3, the average is 155 yards. And he's going to aim 5 right, going right at the pin. We roll the 3 dice, and it's a 1-3-1. So we look at the 13 line in the I column, which gives us the number 3. So we look at the number 3 line on the 9 iron chart. We get a flight of 155 yards. And then the blue 1, we look at the 1 column, and it tells us that his shot went 5 left of where he was aiming. So he's going to actually hit it straight from where he was. And then it'll roll 5 more yards, but still end up on the green, and he'll have a chance at a birdie putt. So now Trevino's second shot. He is 155 yards from the pin, and his iron rating is a 6. So he's going to also pull out his 9 iron, and we see at the column 6 that his average is going to be about 140 yards with the 9. And he's going to aim 10 right, also going right at the pin. So we roll the 3 dice. It's a 3-5-4. So we look at the 35 line on the I column. It gives us a number 5. The number 5 on the 9 iron chart tells us that he hit it 145 yards. And then the blue 4 shows that he hit it right on target. So he went 0 off of his aim. So it'll go 10 right, and then it's going to roll 5 more yards to end up just 1 square away from the hole. So he'll have a nice easy birdie putt coming up. So the way we determine exactly how many feet away the ball is from the pin is we count the squares, or how many yards the ball is away from the pin, and then we go to the putt length determination chart. So we see that Nicklaus's ball is 2 squares away, but right on line with it, so it'll be 10 yards. We go to the putt length determination chart, and we see there's a 0 by 10 yards. So he's 30 feet minus 2 dice away. So we roll 2 dice. It's a total of 9. So he'll have a 21-foot putt for birdie. So we'll go to the putting chart, which for this hole is putting chart 2. And then we see at 21 plus feet, the golfer has the chance to either go for the putt, which gives them a higher chance of sinking the putt, but then also a higher chance of leaving themselves a longer second putt, or to lag, which means they have a lower chance of it going in the hole, but then also a lower chance of having a longer second putt. But Jack's going to be aggressive here, and he's going to go for it. So when we putt, we roll 2 dice. In this case, we roll an 11. So we look at the 11 line under the P column, which gives us a result of 1. So looking at the 1 line, we see at 21 feet, that means it's a in result. So Nicholas has sank a beautiful 21-foot putt to go 1 under par for the course. So now Trevino will try to sink his short putt to keep pace. He's 1 square away, or 5 yards, and we see that that means he's 15 feet minus 2 dice. So we roll 2 dice, and we get an 11, so he'll just have a short 4-foot putt. We roll 2 dice, it's a 32. We look at the 32 line under P, it's a 30. And at 4 feet, the number 30 gives us a in result. So Trevino has sank the short putt, and he'll also go to 1 under par.
Alright guys, so there's a overview of ASG Golf. So what do I think about this game? Well, this is a game that's going to be very hard to recommend to someone just looking for a casual golf game to play on their tabletop. There's a lot of charts that come with the game, and once you add the optional wind and tree hazard rules, then there's even more charts. I feel like the game could really benefit from having a booklet to organize those charts instead of just having a pile of loose charts out. And also, the game only comes with the 1 golf course, so if you want to play on a different course, that means you'll have to make an additional purchase. However, on the upside, there really is a good game engine sort of hidden in all of these charts. And once you get into it and you realize that there is a strategy behind the shots, that you can't just pull out the biggest club and hit it the farthest, that you have to plan around the hazards and the course layout and play to the strengths of whatever golfer you're using, you'll really find that there's a satisfying golf experience there if you're willing to invest the time in playing out a round of golf for that. So the bottom line is, if the thought of taking Jack Nicklaus and Lee Trevino out for a round of golf on the Augusta National Golf Course sounds like fun to you, you're probably going to enjoy this game. For everybody else, I would say to give this game a pass. So while I can't recommend this game for everyone, what I will recommend is that if the game engine intrigues you at all, but you don't want to invest the time into playing it out on your tabletop, there's a really fantastic PC version available that you can download a free demo of on the ASG Games website, which I'll post a link to below. So you can have the PC handle all the die rolls and chart lookups, while you still get the ability to select your club and select where you're going to aim. And so you can play through the game much faster, and playing through that might give you a better idea on whether you'll enjoy this game or not. So go over to ASG Games, try out the demo, and you can see for yourself. Alright guys, my name's Steve. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time after further review.